My name's Stefan Sonnenfeld, and I'm a colorist. And a lot of people aren't quite sure what that is. I would say most people aren't quite sure what that is. I've been embarrassed many times at many social gatherings when I say I'm a colorist. I shouldn't say embarrassed because being a hair colorist isn't embarrassing, but that's usually what people think I am. You know, our job is to bring to life the creative vision from either the director, the DP, the producers, the studios, understand what their intentions are and bring them to the screen. And we do that with this sort of enigmatic process called coloring. When I fell into post-production through a summer job during college, I then sort of realized that the technical environment sort of thing is first what caught my eye, but to then be able to creatively express yourself with that technology seemed to be super exciting to me. I was driving dailies from Universal to the post-production facility for Miami Vice, Michael Mann. Got into a bad accident, not my fault. Was able to get the film to the place that it needed to get to on time, which my boss thought was, you know, valiant effort on Stefan's part, and he shouldn't be a driver, he should be in the tech room. The first movies that I got to do were movies like Capote and Being John Malkovich and Lost in Translation. I would take the cut negative of the movie and color correct it for the home video, for the DVDs back then. I think the colorist's role has changed a lot too. It's evolved over the last decade to incorporate pre-production experience and integration all the way through production and into post-production. You know, what are you shooting on, number one, or what should we shoot on? And we then create what's called these lookup tables, sort of characteristic look that we establish for the show itself. Not necessarily a final look, but a look that's getting us in the right direction is basically incorporated into the images that the editor sees, and also, you know, wherever it's going, the studio or the network or whatnot, the streamer. The origin of Company 3's name is ridiculously silly. Our accountant came to me after like 6 months and was like, you have to get a name for your company. This is absurd. This is ridiculous. And on her ledger, she had company 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she said, if you don't get a company name, I'm just gonna call you guys Company 3, because that's what's on my ledger here. Oh my God, that's it, Company 3. I think I did one of the first fully digital films, shot a film that shot completely on digital cameras, and that was Collateral with Michael Mann. At night, you know, you see this sort of aura. If you're looking down at the city of LA from the west side, you see these different pockets of lights and street lights and building lights and fog and mist, and it creates these beautiful pockets of color everywhere. So Michael's intention there was to create this heightened reality sort of look, and that you could only really achieve by shooting digital cameras that were significantly more sensitive to certain low light situations. That's when I realized that the digital world was upon us. But at the same time, I'm doing Star Wars right now and Wonder Woman. Those are shot, Wonder Woman 2, and those are shot on film. And we were all saying, sitting there, literally all of us, super experienced people saying, oh my God, like, what is going on? Why, film is just so beautiful. We sort of have forgotten sometimes how incredibly beautiful the characteristics of film are. I think you can look at everything as like a film stock, you know, whether it's a digital camera from Red or from Arri. All these cameras are all pretty awesome these days. Film's awesome. What is right for the project? What is right for the production? What is right for the cost? There's a lot of stuff that I work on that is super exciting to me. So like Free Solo, when I did Free Solo, I was just like so excited because of the subject matter, and then I got the footage and I was like, oh my God, I want to like knock this out of the park to try and get something that's incredible that can add to the experience of what this guy did, which is the most amazing feat in sports history. But it's stuff like that I like yearn for as a colorist. Subject matter that interests me, and then how do I enhance that and improve upon it? I always used to say that when I was doing commercials back in the day, like I'm not the right guy to do, you know, make this straw that shade of green. If you want a weird interpretation of that cut that looks unique and different, that's more of what I like to do. You know, one of the best films, I think, that represents my creative ability back in the day that I'm super proud of was Man on Fire, a Tony Scott film. And it was one of the first films that was done as a digital intermediate, but showcased sort of what color could do for a film. You sort of revert back to these scenes in the movie and you always see this characteristic look that, again, actually produces the emotional intent. That's pretty powerful stuff, and it's pretty fun to be able to do that. I did a Q&A with Patty for Wonder Woman. I sort of, at the end of the show, I said, the Q&A, I said to everybody in the room, I think it was like 300 people, I said, hey, guys, I really didn't have much help in the business. As a matter of fact, a lot of people tried to not help me getting into the business. So if you ever need the help, please reach out, just DM me on Instagram, and I'm happy to respond. And out of that one session, about 45 USC students did, and I'd say half of them wanted to get into post-production. I love that this little boutique-y niche business of ours is becoming more available to people.
Did we land on the moon?
In terms of, is this like an analogy or a? Yes. I was doing a documentary sort of idea with JJ and Brian Burke years ago that all had to do with space travel and the shuttle. And I met a lot of people, a bunch of astronauts who've walked in space. And Buzz Aldrin, spent a bunch of time with him. I asked all the questions you'd ever want to ask an astronaut, and then some. There's no way that's fabricated. I get goosebumps thinking about it. I've had a few experiences where I didn't really connect creatively with people, but not everybody can get along. Half the challenge in a color session is connecting socially with the people that you're working with and creatively, obviously. People send stuff all the time, are like, uh-oh, we had this horrible weather, this looks like shit, what can we? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Boom, 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 here you go, how about that? And they're like, oh my God. And it's not, this is what we do. Our business is about not just reality, but outside of reality. What can you do to create interesting and new things? I mean, who wouldn't want to be in that business? And that's why I'm here.